Passing through the veil of mystery, seeking answers no one is brave to ask. This is Bound to Truth.
Hey everybody, welcome to Bound to Truth. This is Chris Lopez with John Hershey. And yes, John Hershey is blessing us with his presence tonight. He has been a very busy man because he's preparing for the apocalypse. And John, since you're a specialist in the apocalypse, with the system going down so far in the future that you are predicting, can you give us some tips, helpful points, and what to do, buddy?
So the first tip I'm going to give you is green tips. The second tip I'm going to give you is armor piercing. The third tips I'm going to give you is level 4 A plus. Um, yeah.
Okay, that was great. And people, what he just said to you right now, please Google that because I have no idea what the hell those means. But basically, John's been having a busy week. We got some chickens. We had a great road trip out to I
Been
forgot where.
farming.
Yeah, big
This is gonna be
farming.
on video. Like I'm still covered in dirt. I came home. My kids are screaming in there. I'm pretty sure one's on fire. I putting up chicken coops.
We got
Uh,
plenty.
fucking plowing fields for what do you call it? Gardens for the wife and building reinforcing chicken coops. We showed up today after I built that coop, and guess what? One of the chickens had discovered the glories of digging.
Oh, really?
Was that close to escaping. So I
No
buried
way.
what are they called? Tunnel stones straight
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
about that far in. Rewrapped the fence, rewrapped everything, buried it in, piled dirt up on top of it about that much above it, and now they're not going nowhere.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now, John, it's funny. John's amazed. We had a great road trip, and it's funny that the things we talked about when we were out there is like, oh, there's this other place we can go out and check out for a haunted investigation. Like, yay, more haunted stuff. This is great. This is
We're
awesome.
finding it. We're getting there. We're finding all of it. We're going to break it down. I know we've been doing a lot. We actually were just talking about the future of where we are going for not just bound to truth, but afterlife research together, and
Yep.
us as a partnership, and our third Xander Roy. We're working it out to where we're going to have a plan, and that plan is to make sure that we are bringing the rawest, realist content that we can possibly bring to you guys, because that's my focus. Anybody can go watch any of the other paranormal investigation things, and they're fancy and great. And too, ours are low resolution. Well, not really low. It's 4K. Lots of swearing, but
Oh yeah.
it's unscripted.
But
It's
you but
raw.
but you know
The
what
the
though?
caving
Who?
videos that we've recently done there too. Some of the banter. I was literally laughing my ass off, realizing that me and Chris are some of the funniest people to ever walk into a haunted cave with in the history of ever. The shit we say should probably have us on a list somewhere. Well, I know I'm on a couple FBI watch lists. I know Chris is not allowed in a school zone. I'm kidding. I'm kidding about that. But 500 yards.
No, that's a
Well,
joke. That's a joke.
yeah, it's a joke. But anyways, we just want to bring the real content with not just our podcast, but all of the films that we're doing, and
Yeah,
we're
and
working hard to
and
make sure that that's it. That's what we're bringing you is the what is the word? The content, the video, the
well,
proof.
here's the thing too, John, and I want to say this to back you up on this really quick. When it comes to the raw footage and everything, and if some people say, "Why you have to curse in those videos that you're recording when you're ghost hunting?" Blah blah blah. Let me tell you something.
Because
In
if you
real
don't like
life,
it, don't watch it.
but also in addition to that, in real life, I don't care if you're for the freaking Pope. You're gonna be like, oh mamma mia, there's a fucking ghost. I
Yeah,
mean, you're gonna you're gonna
when you're in
curse. I don't
a
care how
cave a
pure you
few
are.
miles, when you're in a cave a few miles in, and a couple 100 feet down
Yeah.
in the middle of nowhere, and you turn around and you start hearing footsteps behind you, and there's nobody there, real footsteps, or you go to an area where you were leaving equipment, light up, glow sticks, and you come up, fuck is going to be the first thing out of my mouth. I'm not
Or
going to go, oh golly gee willikers. I'm going to go,
What the fuck, Christopher Lopez?
And for all those Mormons and Amish people out there, you might discover some new foreign language that you might not approve of or feel bad about. That's what's going to
Yeah.
happen. It's deep in our soul. But anyways,
Deep,
uh,
deep, just like Chris's butt plug. It's deep, never to be seen or heard from again.
I hate
Deep.
you again. So John, I told you guys a surprise for you a little bit before we
Oh
get too
God,
apart.
please
Yeah,
don't be.
no, you're gonna like it.
God,
You
it's
know,
gonna be.
honestly,
Guys, everyone, close your eyes.
the sur- my surprises are actually really good and like positive and to your heart's desire. While your surprises are me showing your taint.
I got a surprise. Oh, hold on.
What are you trying to do?
Flash bomb.
Oh no! Da- I'm blind enough. Anyways, but before I give John surprise, so how do you reach us? It's going to be bound to truth34@gmail.com. Definitely send your comments, concerns, thoughts, hate mail, encouraging mail. Also, if you want to be a guest on the show, again, the platform is yours. The bigger you contribute to the platform, the bigger voices that everybody has to share. And definitely hit the subscribe button on all platforms on Buzzsprouts, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon,
Also,
iTunes.
if you want to fight, I'm free Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays. We can meet up at a park and just beat the shit out of each other.
Hey, we
Like,
don't
I'm down for that too.
we
Be
don't talk
great
about Fight
time to
Club.
get to know each other.
We don't talk about Fight Club, John.
The first rule about Fight Club is punch Christopher in the face when you see him.
I agree. And those who punch Chris in the face definitely get a free T-shirt.
And they will receive a free $5,000 gift card courtesy of Chris's credit card to Amazon.
That is not happening. But
He'll be unconscious. He can't say no. You just take the
no,
card. It's in his
no.
wallet, the credit card.
Did you talk to my old? Did you talk to my old bandmates about a discount? Like, hey, you buy a CD, you buy a shirt, and if you kick Chris in the nards for $5.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're the ones that gave me the idea.
And the last platform is Facebook, or the other one is also X. So, anyways, before we talk about the part 2 of Who's the Devil, John, this is for you. So let me hit the share button here, buddy. Let me hit the share button. You ready for this, bud?
It puts the lotion on its skin,
Or else it gets the hose again.
There it is.
Do you see it?
Yeah, Papa.
You ready? I'm gonna hit play
Papa
on this one.
Spatula.
I'm gonna hit play on this one.
That's not the play button. You just skipped it.
Oh no,
now you're on the
that is totally wrong. Oh no.
And he
Oh
skipped it
no.
again.
Oh no.
This
Oh, Dave Chappelle, no.
you need to know
No.
where are you right now?
I don't
with this?
know. No, that's not supposed to happen. Oh my God, this is bad. I just Rick rolled you. I just totally Rick rolled you. Hold on. Hold on.
This is worse than being. You just Chappelled me.
I just totally shipped it. Okay, hold on. Here we go. So I'm going to. God, I don't know if I can. My God, I'm not sure if I can edit this.
No, you have to leave that in. That was too funny.
That was way too funny. I'm gonna get lawsuited. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Do you see it?
I see it.
Okay. There's different images. Here we go. Pretty cool, right? You've seen that before,
Oh, yeah.
but it's a little more still image.
His new outfit is creepy.
Oh yeah. We encourage everybody to listen to Go Satan Eyes when it comes out this late April.
This is not a paid sponsorship either.
By the
just
way,
do it
look
like
at
that.
that. How
Freddy
awesome is
Krueger. Looks like
How-
Freddy Krueger.
Dude, how awesome is that? Have you seen that yet?
No, I haven't seen that one
That's
yet.
why I wanted to show it to you.
That might be
Pretty
what she
cool.
said.
Wow.
Oh, that's creepy.
Right. Oh, it's like Batman.
Very
is
Aussie of him. But also
Totally.
unique too. It's like he's not really ripping anybody off either. He's got
No.
his own, like that right there. Nobody does that.
Yeah, it's incredible, right? And it's funny we say that because his big influences has been Ozzy and Black Sabbath.
Ramstein. Dying.
Well, that too, but when it comes to the late time, like he's talking about his early influences, like how cool is that?
Be cooler if he jumped off the stage and flew.
Oh God. Okay. All right. There you go. That's enough of that. That's enough of that. Since I totally ruined it for it. But I listen, I thought that would be a cool surprise for you.
It was Dave Chappelle was definitely a surprise.
That was a surprise. But I thought you liked that a little bit regarding, those images. I thought they're really cool. And I did listen to a lot of his different interviews, regards to his early stages. And by the way, I that song I mean, I don't know why I'm asking this stupid question. Year Zero.
Yeah.
Have you seen the music video to that?
Yes, I have.
So, what's your thoughts on that?
I just think I think when it comes to Tobias and how he thinks of things and choreographs his music, and I'm sure he has a big hand to play in his music videos too as well. I think he goes for the shock factor.
Hmm.
He goes for the most extreme side of everything that Ghost is about, because it does get people riled up. It does get the blood going. It does get the conversation. It gets the church ladies screaming Satan, Satan, and it gets the everybody else involved in it. There's a weird glowing red light on the floor, and I don't know where it's coming from. Um, it gets people riled up. It gets people thinking, and it's a big deal. That's a good thing. No publicity is bad publicity, and I think he works that to his favor in every extreme possible. So all of his music videos are meant to be out there. They're meant to be wild. They're meant to be shocking. Like even the one for He Is, like and the one where he's doing the baptisms of people and they're coming out and you can see their tits through their shirts and everything too. He's doing that to shock people because he's a showman. And what best way to shock people is grotesque, uh, satanistic type things. Like that's going to get people's attention, and it's great. It's good publicity. It's
Yeah.
choreographed very well.
Yeah. And you know what, too? To add to that, too, is that when I was watching the video for the first time last night, um, is that there was a kid in that music video, right?
Hmm.
And I'll tell you this, that looked just like Tobias.
Yeah.
He did. And I think too the song Year Zero is maybe a rebirth of his own soul or his awakening. I would talk about that. What I mean by that is that I think he's gone through a lot of tragedy in his life. He
Yeah.
lost a brother and so forth through all that, and him reaching out to for answers like as a kid, and at the end of the song, that kind of would sound like a dark lullaby, right? At the end of that was slowly him watching, and it kind of had this omen, like the omen with Damien, where you see him at the end of the film, where he's staring at the camera and he slowly smiles. That was the same thing that looked like for Tobias, where he's slowly smiling, right?
Yeah.
That was, I think, maybe his own year zero, his own rebirth, right?
Yeah.
At the same time,
It's just like their new song Satanized. It's a
I was gonna read that
complete
up. I was gonna
it's a
read that. Yeah,
complete 180
yeah,
from vocally or from lyrically from his other things. Like it's
it's a
kind of
cry.
leaning towards, it's kind of like the screaming towards the whole did I get myself in too deep, did I do something wrong, like am I have I made a mistake, have I been satanized, is it too late for me, like and it's very interesting, and I'm very curious to see the rest. Now it again, it could all be for the shock factor,
Yeah,
or it could be Tobias crying out and bleeding his heart to the whole world. um yeah, but we'll see with the rest of the album, because just like with all
exactly.
of them, they're from his heart. He writes a lot. Like I think all of his music.
No,
I know that there's
he
some.
writes it all. He
Yeah.
writes it all. And I'll tell you this, guys out there, I didn't know about Ghost at all until John introduced me to it. And honestly, I haven't been excited for a band since like AC/DC and some of the bands in the 90s, but like I'm a big fan of AC/DC. It's my favorite band I would see in a heartbeat. Other bands, yeah, I've seen and so forth back when I
He
was like,
also really loves Katy Perry.
no, I met her
Yeah,
father though.
that's
I
weird.
met her father
How would you know?
because I that's another conversation that's offline.
Did he tell you he was her father?
That's another conversation offline.
Chris, I'm Britney Spears' father. I
No, that's another conversation
I'm
offline.
also Donald Trump's father.
Okay, Darth Vader.
Yeah, I'm
I,
also your
I
father.
have to be careful what I say because of
Yeah.
of work privilege. So
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Anyways, I was like, how the fuck do you know? It was like just random. Anyways,
yeah,
Lucifer,
that was no,
Lucifer.
don't apologize, man. It's totally cool. It's tough. It's a conversation offline. I'll definitely tell
Our
you about later when we hang out later during whatever. But I'll tell you this with the song Satanized, it does sound like a cry for help in a way. When I say cry for help, it's I think maybe that cry for help just maybe questioning his journey because he's got all this fame, he's got all this success and what Ghost has done. I think Ghost has been the next best thing since Kiss, and I really mean that. Kiss, Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, all those bands back then. I think it's a combination because because what Tobias has done has not just made one genre of his songs. He's made such a variety of
he's
different
he's
songs.
modernized
Yeah.
old progressive rock
Mhm.
with a little kiss of metal.
And
Like
it's
you
incredible.
get the 80s fucking great fucking the music that comes with it and the vocals and the style and the choreographing from of the 80s
Yeah.
in a new age way. And
Yeah.
it's great.
It,
It's great.
it is complete.
Especially because it's a breath of fresh air from all the other dude. I listen to some of the music that like my sister-in-law's into and like my kids all listen to like my music. They listen to the music I like and that Sophia does. But one of my children has recently started developing his own taste for music, and it's because he's got other kids that are complete uncultured swine that he hangs around in his life that are not mine.
Mhm.
And he had it playing in his room and I walked in there and it literally sounded like two cats fucking inside of a wood chipper. Like I had no idea what was going on and it was sounded like noise and it wasn't rap, it wasn't rock, it was just it wasn't like the EDM. I don't know what the fuck it was. And I was like, turn this shit off. He's like, no, this is great music. It's what everybody listens to. I was like,
Yeah.
I had to pull the dad card. I was like, not in my fucking house.
Yeah. And I think John, if you're the person, if you see somebody walk in your house with a ghost shirt, you're gonna probably stop them saying, you better tell me who that is. If you don't know, I'm gonna
Yeah,
kick your
I'm
ass.
that one guy. Like, name
Yeah.
one of their songs that's not Mary on a Cross.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. And again, like you said, Tobias has taken all his favorite stuff. That's what I love about Tobias because
And people give them so much hate. So much I see it all the time where people are like, "Oh, this is a goth girl rock music. This is blah blah
oh,
blah."
it's
It's like
not. I've heard
you know
goth
what the
music.
funny
This
part
is
about it
not.
is it's music. It's good music and people are embarrassed to like it because they think that because it's different.
Well, it's
Because
not one
Tobias is
dimensional.
different.
It's not one
Tobias is different. And
dimensional.
that's why he's
Yeah.
flashy.
Yeah.
He's eccentric.
Yeah.
He's flamboyant and masculine at the same time.
Yeah.
He's anti-religious but also religious. He's like it's this mashup if he's kind of like everything all in your face all at once. And it's a beautiful symphony of art, visuals, sound that he does, and it makes people uncomfortable, especially those
Yeah.
guys that have to act so manly. And these guys are the ones that are that, and me and my wife laugh about all the time.
Yeah.
Actually, we ran into one the other day at the store. This guy, he was just so felt so small about himself that he had to just like try to make everyone around him know how manly he was and how
I'm sorry.
tough he was
I'm sorry about that.
and it was this it was just this random dude at Costco and he was just so like, I'm a big old tough man, I got rough hands, I got this blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah, I'm this that and the third and nobody's gonna talk to me like that, blah 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 blah. And then it's in then and finally at one point I was like, hey, I'm really happy that you feel so emasculated that you have to tell everyone how masculine you are. But I just need you to shut the fuck up because I'm trying to get my shopping done, and also you're in the way, and I'm really annoyed by you. And he's like, "Well, what are you gonna do about it?" I was like, "You want to go outside? Let's go. Come on, big boy.
I'm gonna put you
Come on,
Mary. I'm
come
gonna
on." And
put you
he's
on
like,
Mary of the Cross.
and then he's like, I don't have to go out with you. I don't need to prove myself to you, blah, blah. I was like, no, 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 no. But you need to prove yourself to everybody here. You feels the
Mm,
need to talk about it. All this whole like 15, 20 minutes, all you've been doing is telling random strangers how manly you are.
yeah.
How you got a big truck. and how you work in I can't even remember what he did. I think he jerked off chickens for a living, but this dude just felt the need to just do that. But then he got called out on it, and he was like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh." And as you can tell, since I wasn't arrested in the parking lot of Costco, he did not step outside with me. Um, those people that feel the need to put others down or flash and be super showy about themselves constantly, those are, like we were talking before, are weak-minded people. Those are people that fall into the trap of really thinking that Tobias is this big old Satan worshiper, and he's bringing forth the Antichrist and blah blah. Hey, honestly, if you listen to idiot, excuse me, these hiccups are killing me today.
No,
I
you're
feel
good.
like I get hiccups every time I get on the podcast. It must be your face. Um, it gets down to this, like I was saying, the weak-minded people of thinking that sure he's not a part of he used to be a Catholic man if I remember correctly.
Yeah, no,
And
you're right. He was.
and then things changed in his life, and he decided to go towards Satanism or Luciferianism, which are the study of Lucifer and Satanism, but not like the what people think Satanists are, the
Right.
sacrifice and baby
Right.
and murder, blah blah blah. Because if anybody who's really educated on being a Satanist actually reads the Satanic Bible, there's a lot more things in there than there are in the Bible about being nice to people, treating people with respect, but also treating yourself with respect. They take the eye for an eye, real. It's like, yo, love thy neighbor, be nice to people, don't rape, don't murder. Literally, the Satanic Bible says, do not rape, do not murder, do not steal, do not lie, do not hurt people for no reason. But then on the other hand, it's like, yo, if someone slaps you, beat the shit out of them. Like, we're totally cool with that here. So it's not like this whole doom and gloom, murder, sacrifice, witchcraft thing. That's different. That's different.
And
And that kind
yeah,
of wraps around in a large loop to the whole like who's the devil thing. Like who is the devil?
I
And the
was
devil
about to
is
say that. It's a
evil.
segue.
Like
It's a
there's
segue.
evil. There's evil, and then there's people that are worshiping what we call like as the Christians call the devil, what Christians call evil. And hold on, let me get this. And really, this goes back to what we were talking about before, that evil is within us.
Right.
But anyway, sorry for the weird, stupid, dramatic thing.
No, it's no. Honestly, I
Um,
was say that was a perfect segue, and there was stuff I pulled up online after our
put your dick
conversation from
away,
last
Chris.
episode. Huh? What'd you say?
I said, put your dick away, Chris.
I
I
what?
see you looking down a lot. Don't you can't play with yourself when we're on podcasts. This is weird. I'm
Everybody,
joking.
that's a lie, and John's is trying to get me arrested as usual. I'm still waiting for the cops to come to my place.
Uh, they're about 5 minutes out.
That or ice. Even though I talk really like American.
Honestly, if ICE is coming after anybody, it's gonna be me. People, you can look at my beautiful, glorious complexion, and you're like, oh, why would ICE be coming after? I am a Mexican.
Are you
But I'm also
Mexican?
Russian.
Or are you
I'm Mex-
Mexican? Are you
I'm a
Mexican?
Mexican with a little
Or-
bit of potato vodka in my
Okay.
blood. But,
Okay.
um,
So we're going to talk about part two of Who's the Devil, and there's a lot, and there's some hierarchies that are involved. But John made a very good point. He messaged me about a week or two back regarding the apocalypse of Adam, which was really interesting. This is a Gnostic text back in the Dead Sea Scrolls with the Nag Hammadi. And people may ask, especially with the belief, like, well, how do we know that's real? How do we know that's not fake and BS, blah blah blah? But then other people on the side of the argument saying, well, how do we know the Torah is not, legit? How do
how
we
do you
know
know that the
the new
Bible
gospel?
is the
Right,
right
because
thing? And I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be anti-religious here. I mean, you know that. I'm not saying that the Bible is wrong. I'm not saying
exactly
that it's right.
right,
I'm not saying that the apocalypse of Adam is wrong, and I'm not saying that it's right. But I'm
right.
saying you need the world, the people. You need to educate yourself on both sides.
Mhm.
Don't just read one in. I that's it. I'm a devout man of God. I'm also a man of science and logic. And people are like, well, how does that even make it work? It's just like, well, because science backs up Christ, and Christ backs up science and the logic of
Right,
the Bible. Both of them work hand in hand with each other.
right,
And that's the thing where you get the extremists that are like, the Bible is the only thing that's right. And then you get the extremists on that science is the only thing that's right.
right,
The creation and the Big Bang.
right.
Really, when you get into the creation of the Big Bang, the creation theory backs up the Big Bang theory. Like the Big Bang was caused from fucking creation.
Well, and the
Like
thing is,
it's just like a science experiment. What happens when you get a science experiment right? What happens when they're trying to collide particles with each other and the superhydron collider? There's an explosion. It's contained, but they create new particles, and I mean, that's what we're trying to do.
right,
God is science.
exactly.
Science is God. And if you believe that neither one of them can coexist with each other, then you're uneducated. You're not thinking open mindedly enough, and you're being locked away, and you're not doing yourself any favors. And it's the same thing with who's the devil.
Yeah.
If you just listen immediately to what Pastor Hoingedoingen, any of them, I'm just going to use Hoingedoingen because I like the word. What any of them tell you who the devil is, or who Satan is, or what Lucifer is. When you listen to those people, you get a very narrow-minded, the devil. The devil made me do it. The devil is bad. The devil is evil.
Yeah.
Damn the devil. The devil made me do it. The
Right.
devil causes sin in your life. But that that doesn't make sense, because the devil isn't running around to all of us forcing us to sin,
Hmm.
forcing us to create evil acts.
And
So that goes back to, and I believe the Apocalypse of Adam, I think in one of the chapters or one of the things that I read in there too, it talked about how the embodiment of evil is within us at all times, because we are capable and we are evil. Same with what the Bible says, that the embodiment of the Holy Spirit is here and it's within us because we are capable of great good.
so
But
it's you know what so to add to that, John, and sorry to interrupt a bit,
no, no, go for it.
is it just you just gave me a thought and tell me if
That's
this makes
unfortunate.
I know, tell me if this makes sense. Is like we have a prosecutor and a defense.
Yeah.
And us as humanity is the jury.
And the executioner is lack of knowledge.
But does that make sense though? Like
Yeah.
we're not, because you have evidence A saying here's the Bible. And again, we're talking theory here. Again, everybody don't get freaking freaked
Yeah,
out.
I'm not telling you guys that none of this that we have even in this theory, I'm not telling you that any of this is a fact.
Exactly. But
I am
however,
telling you that this is information that you should know and learn.
and obviously too, the victors control the history, right?
Yeah.
And so there were some interesting things that I read and listened about the apocalypse of Adam. And Adam had a conversation with his son Seth, his third son, and
Oh yeah.
basically about the
I just
truth. It's
I
a
just
mind
want to
blower,
say
mind blower.
like you guys with this, and I hope, and Christopher is going to put a link, and I want you to, after this, I want you to listen to this podcast, and then I want you to go take some time, take some good time, not like a quick read, not reading while you're driving, not reading while you're eating. I want you to really sit down and read what the apocalypse of Adam has to say and really think about it, because it is mind blowing. The possibility of this being a fact or even being possibly true goes back to the belief that we are completely, and the knowledge that we have been given about God, the Bible has been so fucking perversed by secular human beings, by by human beings in general, people who want to control the narrative to create power for themselves. It is it blows you away, and it will blow you away. You're going to read this, and one of three things is going to happen. You're going to read it and go, nope, and that's okay. You're going to read it and you're going to go, holy shit, I need to know more. And good, we're here for that, and I'm here for the note people too. Or you're going to read it and you're going to go, oh my god, this has to be this true. This, I read it, so it's true. No, I don't want you to be that person. I'm not here for that person.
No,
I'm not here for
exactly.
the people that are easily convinced of anything, because those people are weak-minded individuals. And
No,
to me, I'm not saying that
yeah.
they're bad people, but I want to make sure that I educate in the best way that I can, so everybody can have the opportunity to read and have the revelations and that I've experienced in life, and that I hope others do too. And I mean, it's controversial, and again, the apocalypse of Adam, please read it. We could dive into it right now, but it would probably take the rest of our lives. I
It,
really
it,
do want to dive into it soon. When we finish this series, I think that me and Christopher need to sit down with each other, break down the apocalypse of Adam, and go over it in sections on this podcast.
Yeah.
Because, like,
Yes.
it's mind-boggling and blowing.
Yeah.
And
And
these are actual texts that exist. They are real, physical, proven texts that exist that came around the same generation as the Dead Sea Scrolls, but were completely left out of history and the Bible, even though they are texts that were originally part of the Bible. They
let's
were removed, but they
let
still exist. You can actually go, I believe you can go and request to see them, but you also have to, you know, if you don't read, what is the it's not Aramaic that the language was written in. It was
No, I'm not sure if it was Egyptian. It could be Egyptian, but I think it was still also in Aramaic. But I'll tell you this.
it's a language that's one of the language that if you had an interpreter, they'd know what they're doing. But I know that part of it was Aramaic and the rest of it was that's how they were able to translate it, because it was like, oh, I can't remember if it was Egyptian or in Hebrew or whatever. It was one of those languages that they're like, oh yeah, we know this.
And to you, John, because I know we spent a lot of quite a time on it, and we're gonna do a part two of two or part three. I think this is gonna be a four-parter because of our conversation, because it's really in depth. And I told you guys all that I was gonna be just a three-parter. It's definitely gonna be a four-parter because
It might
this
even turn out to be more than that, because we
it,
just
it,
want to
it
make sure that we break this down in the best way possible. And I gave
I
Christopher
agree.
some new information that he
It
wasn't
threw
privy on.
it wasn't. I'll just say this.
I threw the apocalypse of Adam at him because I knew that we were getting ready for this episode, and I knew that it was going to bring up some questions.
Oh,
And
it did.
do I have answers for the apocalypse of Adam in it? I don't really.
No, but I'll
The
tell you
most
this.
answers that I can come up with is just reading it and being knowledgeable.
I'll tell you this to sum up this conversation is that the conversation that Adam had with Seth through the text,
Yeah.
believe it or not, is who God really is. That the tree of life is not what it is, and that the tree of good and evil is not what it seems. That the tree of good and evil is supposed to be bad when it's actually supposedly good, and the tree of life is supposed to be good when it's actually bad. And I'll tell you this
It
too.
wraps up into this whole "who is the devil" thing.
It wraps up this whole thing that
Like, yeah,
supposedly, again, back to Gnostic text, is that the divine human spirit that we are as gods. Not saying I'm God. I'm not saying John's God, but us as human beings are this divine entity that belongs to the true God, and this other being decided to split us up, make us in two, which caused Adam and Eve. That sounds silly, but we're going to break that down the next time we talk, because that's how depth it is. I'm not saying it's true or not, but I'll say this. When I text John, when I listen to an episode of, or excuse me, the whole scripture of the Gnostic regards to that, I told John, I was like, it makes me want to really reread and listen to the Gnostic Gospels, because Jesus in the Gnostic text speaks of the same thing. And I'll tell you this, that's what caught my attention, because if it's not the same, if it's like, well, that's blasphemous. Well, why is this Jesus
exactly, and
talking
it's not
about the same
Jesus
freaking
speaks
thing?
about it.
It's freaking
Jesus
thing.
speaks
Yeah.
about it, and what it is Jesus told us in a literal sense of what the fuck it meant and what the fuck it is. But man, who the devil changed it
Yeah.
so that people wouldn't have the proper knowledge of who the devil is.
And this is why we live in
Real
our
evil.
dimensional world,
Real evil.
the three-dimensional world, right? And it talked about that in the apocalypse of Adam.
Yeah.
Again, the apocalypse of Adam talked about this, and then you have this Gnostic text that Jesus talks about.
Yep.
Same thing.
Jesus spoke of this text.
Yeah.
Which gives the validity of the script.
Mm-hmm. And
Some
I know
people are going to be like, "There's no proof or validation that this is real." Jesus said it. He did.
Yeah, it's very real.
That it's real.
And I'll tell you this:
the information in this
Yeah.
has the potential to be real. And the reason that it was excluded from your Bible studies, from the Bible,
Don't
from
preach it, man. Why?
was because of
The devil.
the real one who wanted to change and perverse your knowledge of who he is so that you would think the wrong entity is the devil, so that you would be focused on this evil that he wanted you to do instead of the real evil that's over here.
So then who
This
is
is
the
the hand that I want you to focus on. I'm going to tell you this is wrong for generations and histories. I'm going to perverse minds. I'm going to tell people that they are prophets of me. And I'm not saying that Jesus is the devil. I'm saying that this is the devil speaking to the
Right,
minds that he was
right.
perversing. I'm going to teach these people that I'm right because I'm not the devil. I'm not the devil. This is the devil over here because I want you to focus over here. So you don't see what I'm doing over here. So you don't see
Right.
the evil that I'm doing in the world. So you don't see the real baby sacrificers, the murderers, the rapists, the powerful people who are controlling your minds, controlling your world, controlling your pharmaceuticals, controlling your food, controlling your life, controlling your finances, controlling your power, controlling what you do with your life, your 9 to 5, controlling everything that you do in the aspect of your life, because that is what real evil is. Are people who were perversed by false knowledge into believing that they are right
Yeah.
and that what they're doing is right. Not people who are just trying to live and love
Yeah.
and be a part of it. And as a devout Christian man who went gun to my head, are you a follower of Christ? Yes, please pull that trigger. I will not deny my Lord. But I am a follower of Christ. I'm not a follower of the Bible. Nor am I a follower of Oh gosh. My wife texted me. Ellie got injured.
Oh gosh.
Nor am I a follower of really listening to people preach the Bible because Jesus was even in the text that we have now, it was very clear. That's what I believe and what I feel. But I also, in being a Christian man, will look anybody in the eye and tell them this crazy fact that I'm gonna drop a bomb on you, that the devil that the church has told you who is the devil, that Lucifer Morningstar is not the devil. He is not the devil. Nor do I believe that he is evil in any way, sense, or form or another. And
Yeah.
we'll get into that. And the Gnostic texts will get into that. And the information that we will be expressing or be telling you and showing you in the next podcast will be explaining not just my view, but the multiple views on why Lucifer is not the devil.
Exactly.
Lucifer, the morning star.
Yeah.
Not that the devil's not the devil, but why he was chosen to be the devil in the Christian books and texts so that somebody else was not looked at. Because even the hierarchies of hell that was wrote by the Catholic Church shows that Lucifer is not the devil. But for some reason, the Bible says that Lucifer, well, actually, the Bible never says that Lucifer is the devil. That never once, never one time in the Bible does it say that Lucifer is the devil or evil, or that he was the tempter in the garden.
It's all
But
about Satan and Antichrist. It has
for
nothing to do with
some reason, for some unknown reason in history, someone was like, Lucifer's the devil.
Well, just like Mary Magdalene's a prostitute.
He's the light bringer,
Yeah.
the bringer of light. Why in the Bible did God not change his name to the sorrows of hell, to the darkness of the abyss?
Yeah.
Why is it still Lucifer Morningstar
Yeah.
in all of it? It's all it speaks about.
Yeah. And I'll say this to you, John, is that there's a lot to unpack here. And honestly, everybody, I'm not gonna say this is gonna be a 4-part series. I think you're right, John. This is gonna be multi-series, and we're gonna make this a multi-series because I don't
But
want
we're
to
going
put
to do
a
it with very well educated information and with links and hyper things that you can go and read for yourself, so you're not just listening to us. Because I don't want this to be a podcast where you listen and you believe. I mean,
so what if
I want it to be a podcast where you listen and you go inform yourself by doing research yourself, because that's true knowledge, is learning it yourself, not having somebody tell you how to think.
Exactly. And this and I'm gonna echo exactly what John's saying. We're not here to tell you how to think. We're giving you thoughts and for you to think for yourselves. And I'll definitely put a link for the Gnostic Gospels, especially with regards to Apocalypse of Adam. It's definitely a very thought-provoking read. And honestly, out there too, I'll say this is that this is a lot of mind-blowing stuff. And for those who are very seated in ground to what they believe and what so forth, I'm not saying you should be forced to read it. I get it. You know, we have our comfort level. Um, and I'm not John and I are here not to destroy anybody's face or creed
No, I'm not
because
going to
yeah,
destroy your
and
faith, and
that's
I'm
not
not
what
saying that
that's not
Christianity is wrong. We're not
yeah,
here to
we're
say
not,
that. I'm
and
not
that's not
saying
what we're
any of that.
trying to, we're not, that's not what we're trying to do. We just want to make sure that we are presenting truth and you decide if you want to, or not truth, excuse me, an idea. I don't want to say,
An
excuse
idea and
that.
a deep
Yeah, excuse me.
dive, a deeper dive
Yes.
into not Christianity, but into the perversion that has rewrote Christianity.
Yeah.
Because the Bible is not Christianity.
Yeah. No,
It
you're
has
right.
nothing to do with the
And
Bible.
you know what? When was the Bible written? Or when was the Bible written? 300, little after 300 AD,
Yeah.
after Constantine. And people could argue saying the Christians conquered Rome. No, Rome is still alive.
Yeah.
So, with that being said,
And stronger than ever.
exact.
Significantly stronger than any of you could ever possibly imagine.
And John, you would know more about that than I would, buddy. And I'm a Catholic.
Yeah. Terrible one at that.
Not gonna lie,
I'm not kidding. You're a
they don't call
great
me
man.
Padre Lopez for any reason.
They call him Papa Bad Touch. Like, let's get this right.
Oh, you bad Papa bad touch. No, anyways, anyways, we're gonna get going here. We're gonna leave a little cliffhanger on that. I know we talked a lot about Ghost and with the Apocalypse of Adam, but honestly, in a
Well,
way,
honestly, it
it
kind of
ties
wrapped
to it.
around because
It
it kind
ties
of
to it.
it played and I think Tobias, who I would
Loved him.
literally give my left nut because I ain't using it. I don't need it. Just to have him on the podcast. Like I like just to get here because I have a feeling that that man is a very very deeply educated individual
Agreed.
when it comes to both sides of the fence of
Agreed.
religion
Agreed.
because he's versed on both sides of it emotionally, spiritually, and I believe in educationally. Like I can see it, I can hear it in his music, especially when you listen to his interviews and things like that. He's a great man, and I think that he plays both sides of the fence or both
And
sides
John,
of the field.
John, can I ask you a question? If
No,
if we were to get Tobias on the podcast, do you think he'd be impressed with our questions? Not just for asking for band purposes, just because, listen, you write great music, but we want to understand the purpose behind it more in depth to these questions and why you do things you do. Is it to rebel? Is it to question? Is it because there's some deeper knowledge and experience you have? What has got you in this journey? That'd be my
yeah,
question.
it would I would love to pick his mind and get like a real deep dive, like a real sit down
Yeah.
to find out like what really is the purpose behind your music other than it just being good.
Well, and it's not I don't get the sense of rebellion. I get a sense of questioning. That's how I look with Tobias. I don't get a
Oh,
sense of
yeah, no,
rebellion.
I don't think it's
Yeah,
rebellion. I think it is question because
totally
you
questioning.
look at the difference between some of his musics, and then God, I gotta stop eating sandwiches. And then you get a song like Saint Eyes that comes out of the blue that I did not expect after his last album.
Yeah,
Um, that it just that made me go, "What are you going through, bud?"
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
you said that to me 6 in the morning. I was like,
yeah.
yeah.
It's because I just came through. I got the notification that they released a new single, and I was like, "I'm gonna listen to it." I was like, "Oh,
And the music video is even better. Holy
yeah,
tamale! It's definitely got a lot of Catholic roots into it. You know, very very depth, dark, like medieval Catholic roots, which is incredible because
yeah,
that was a lot of prime stuff going on with the Catholic Church.
yeah."
But
Well, don't get Satanized, people.
yeah, please don't.
That's not what we're here to do. That's not what we're here to do.
All right. So what we'll do is the next time we do the podcast, we're going to talk a little more depth about the apocalypse of Adam. I'll definitely put a link to it regarding the Gnostic gospel of that. But again, how you can reach us is boundtruth34@gmail.com. Comments, questions, insults, be a guest in the show, want to share your stories. X, Apple, Spotify, Buzzsprouts, Facebook. What else missing? YouTube, of course. Definitely hit the subscribe button. Again, the bigger the platform you subscribe to, the bigger opportunity for you guys to have an opportunity to share your stories and be part of this experience that we have for you. Until next time, John, any last thoughts?
Lick my balls.
I will not be doing that, and nor will else do. Until next time, see you on the other side. Good night.